Co-Creation Nation, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful evening, wonderful day. Um, just checking in with you right quick. Look, have you ever been taken for a ride? Now, when I say taken for a ride, I'm not talking about getting in the car with a friend and they're taking you for a ride. Though I could be talking about that, but that's not particularly what I'm saying. So you ever been in a situation where you knew that the people that you were hanging around or dealing with, you knew they wasn't really 100% with the best intentions, but you felt like there wasn't any real danger and you saw like some benefit that you can get out of the situation, so you kind of went along with it. It's kind of taking for a ride. I mean, some people say taking for a ride when you don't even know that you're being taken for a ride. So I guess it could kind of go both ways on that. But have you ever been taken for a ride? Like you alone for the journey? I've been I was in a long term relationship where I was taken for a ride. You know what I'm saying? It was a situation where I knew what was going on, but the person I was with, they had a whole different agenda than what I had. You know what I'm saying? This was years and years and years ago. So I'm mentioning that to say that the way this world is set up, especially, let's just focus on the corporation of the United States of America. We, at this point, can get taken for rides very easily because of the digital technology that's in place. If there's a certain idea that the tech companies, that the government, that pharmaceutical companies, that any authorities, if there's a certain idea or way to look at the world that they want us to see it as, they can take us for a ride. They can put stuff out on the news. You turn on your TV, you see a certain thing. They can put stuff out on social media. All this digital. They can be in several places at one time, like instantly. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't possible back in the days. Back in the days, everybody wasn't on the same page at the same time. Everybody wasn't on social media. Everybody didn't have cable TV. Everybody wasn't so easily influenced. Maybe I don't know about that, but as far as like the digital media to be in several places at the same time, I mean, they can send messages to your cell phone. There's emergency broadcast systems you'll hear throughout neighborhoods. It's like if these big companies, these big tech companies, these government officials, these special interest groups, these pharmaceutical companies, these big industry, if they want us to think a certain way about life and see things to a certain way, they can put out an image and spread it across pretty much the whole country. When we talking about the corporation of the United States, they can put out the whole bulletin within hours and they can pretty much paint the picture of how they want you to see things going on in this world. If you ever work for a big corporation, there's this system where they can pretty much broadcast their what they deem is important to the company, and it depends on who you work for. But there was like some corporations have like TVs. You walk through the hallways, there's TVs. You go to the break room, there's a TV, and they have their own broadcast network where they can put certain ideas out there to their employees to paint a picture on as to how the employees should act, what they should be paying attention to, what is important, and what they shouldn't be doing. That's within a corporation of just a company. But we talking about the corporation of the United States. They pretty much lay out ideas for us. If they want us to see this world in a certain way, they blast it on the media. They blast it on the media. No matter what news channel you look at, they all have a script when they want a certain idea out there. They blast it through advertising. They blast it through social media. They blast it through billboards. And there's digital billboards now, so they can instantly change a billboard to saying something different. And so they pretty much take you on a ride that they want you to be on. So we got to be very careful, folks, is what my point is. We about to be very careful of the ideas that we think that we're coming up with in our mind. Oh, I came up with that. I believe that's true. But really, you're being blasted. You're being blasted from all angles. And they're not only blasting you with what they want you to look at the world as, they're actually preventing you from seeing other ideas. They're monitoring and blocking certain information. So these big companies, they can pretty much paint the idea of how you see the world, because all the channels of communication are all digital now, and they can hit you back to back to back from all angles. You think you have your own ideas, but really you get an idea from social media, from watching the news, from looking at this advertisement, from seeing that billboard, from talking to this doctor. They hit us all up at one time, and they just kind of bringing us along for the ride. And in a short period of time, you felt like at one point you felt this way about something, but then in a short period of time, you can be led down a road. It's almost like a conveyor belt. You're being led down the road, down this tunnel of information that they are giving to you. You Google something, and certain things that you Google, the real information, you got to go like 50 pages deep. The stuff on like the top of the Google search, that's what these corporations want you to see. That's what this Corporation of America wants you to see. So all I'm saying, folks, just be careful about the information that you're consuming, because you're being led down a path. And there's nothing wrong with the path on all aspects, but there's a lot wrong with a lot of the path. What you have to develop is the ability to be led down the path and see that you're being led down the path, and also step back off of the path and look at the big picture. I look at the big picture, folks. Co-creators need to look at the big picture. You can be led down the path to slaughter or to wherever they're trying to bring you, but at the same time, you got to be able to step back off of the path and be like, okay, I know they lead me down this path for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I know it ain't good for me, but just know what's going on. I ain't saying you got to totally unplug right now, but you need to be prepared to step off of that path, step off of that conveyor belt that they're leading you down this tunnel of information, and at least know what's going on. Don't just be a damn lemming and go along with everything you see on the news, on social media. Don't do it, folks. Pay attention. Take advantage of the path. Get all the benefits from the path. But pull out and say, step off of that conveyor belt and say, I'm not participating. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if you're getting that, but I've been amazed to see how many people just within the last year, have been led down a certain path about ideas about how this world works and what's really going on. And they think they're coming up with these ideas. They think they're being smart and informative, but really they've been given every single idea. They're not even walking. They on the damn conveyor belt that's going down a path, a tunnel full of information, leading them to where they didn't ask to be led, but they feel like they're doing it themselves. So anyway, folks, you have to think for yourself. You have to use discernment. You have to stop looking at all these different resources as if they are 100% ironclad the truth. I love you, my co-creators. Co-creation nation, we think for ourselves. We take advantage of the system, but we don't live by the system. We're ready to walk away from the system at any time. We're not afraid of abandoning the system. We'll take advantage of it, but we abandon it in a second. Anyway, I love you. I value you.